नमस्कार दोस्तों। आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू आर वेरी safe and healthy. Okay, so in continuation with my video series, Introduction to AWS Services. Okay, we will start picking up each AWS services and we will understand their functionality. Okay, in very short and brief. Okay, because this is not the detailed session. Okay, in this video, I'm just we will focus very few minutes on the services and we'll understand their uh, core functionalities. Okay, but we will discuss all of them in detailed videos. Okay, that I will those detailed session I will prepare later, but in this session we will understand all the services in short itself. Okay, so the first one is the very foundational service of AWS, that is VPC, which is called virtual private cloud. Okay, so virtual private cloud kya hai? Let us understand with the definition. With Virtual Private Cloud, Amazon VPC, you can launch AWS resources in a logically isolated virtual network that you have defined. This virtual network closely resembles a traditional network that you would operate in your own data center with the benefits of using the scalable infrastructure of AWS. Okay. Okay. So इसको ऐसे समझते हैं कि आप किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और किसी कंपनीज में आप जॉब करते होंगे या फिर आप किसी फिर फॉर एनी बिजनेस प्रेमिसेस आपने देखा होगा कि वहाँ पे जितने भी सर्वर्स होते हैं या जितने भी कंप्यूटर्स होते हैं। ओके, कंप्यूटर्स में कंपनीज के एप्लीकेशंस और सॉफ्टवेयर इंस्टॉल्ड होते हैं। ठीक है, जिसपे फॉर देयर पर्पस लाइक द अकाउंटिंग सॉफ्टवेयर और इन्वेंट्री सॉफ्टवेयर और एनी काइंड ऑफ software that are useful for their business. Okay, so they are installed in within the computers. Okay, but how the computers are connected with their internal local network. Okay, because network nahi rahega to the software will not be accessible across the departments and their employees. Okay, so एक physical network with the cabling or with the Wi-Fi they configure. Okay, and within the network they launch their computers, and within the computers or the systems they install the softwares, and then through the network the software is accessible through their employees or through their customers or wherever they want to give the access. Okay, so VPC क्या है? VPC similar to your traditional network in your local premises. Okay, AWS provides a virtual network. Okay, virtual network in their cloud environment, that is called VPC. Okay, so VPC you can consider that is a mimic of your local network in your organization or in your company. Okay, so in AWS, when we create an account in AWS or we are going to launch any resources, AWS will prompt us to select a default VPC. एक डिफॉल्ट VPC, एक डिफॉल्ट वर्चुअल नेटवर्क पहले से AWS अकाउंट पे बना होता है और उसी VPC के अंदर हम अपने सारे रिसोर्सेस हम लोग लॉन्च करते हैं। ठीक है, एंड दैट डिफॉल्ट वर्चुअल नेटवर्क already have the internet access. Okay, so whatever resource we launch within that virtual private cloud, okay, through the internet we can access them. But in AWS we have the option to create our custom VPC resource VPC. हमारे पास ये ऑप्शन होता है कि हम अपने खुद के वर्चुअल प्राइवेट क्लाउड बना सकते हैं और उसके अंदर भी हम लोग रिसोर्सेस लॉन्च कर सकते हैं। और ये हमारे ऊपर निर्भर करता है कि हम उन रिसोर्सेज को सिक्योर रखना चाहते हैं, प्राइवेट सिक्योर रखना चाहते हैं, या फिर इसको हम इंटरनेट के थ्रू आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड में एक्सेस देना चाहते हैं या नहीं। ठीक है, सो ऑल दिस कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस वी कैन मेक विद इन VPC. ओके, so for now we will discuss and understand the VPC in it is a very in depth and very interesting topic of AWS cloud. Okay, और AWS से आगे जितनी भी सर्विसेज उन सबको समझने के पहले आपको VPC समझना बहुत जरूरी है। VPC आपने समझ लिया तो आपको एंटायर कनेक्टिविटी आपको प्रॉपर्ली समझ में आएंगी। ठीक है, फिर बाद में जितने भी हम रिसोर्सेज लॉन्च करेंगे AWS में, ठीक है, although so VPC is the foundation of all those services. Okay, just understand this way. Further there are options VPC के अंदर आप just understand this picture. Let us say this is the virtual network. वर्चुअल नेटवर्क में हम क्या करते हैं, हम अपने एक IP रेंजेस क्रिएट करते हैं, इसको साइडर ब्लॉक बोलते हैं, और क्लासलेस क्लासलेस नोटेशन ऑफ द साइडर ब्लॉक, ओके। एंड विद इन दैट उसमें फिर फर्दर हम डिवाइड करते हैं उसको सबनेट्स में, जिसमें फिर हम ये बता सकते हैं कि जैसे एक ओवरऑल इट इट्स अ VPC नेटवर्क, ओके, कंप्लीट नेटवर्क। Within that, we have created two different network, the public subnet and the private subnet. Okay, फर्दर सेग्रीगेशन कर सकते हैं। जैसे आप आपका एक नेटवर्क है जिसमें आप आपके दो डिपार्टमेंट है, आपने एक डिपार्टमेंट के लिए एक नेटवर्क बनाया जिसको आपने प्राइवेट रखा, दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट में एक नेटवर्क बनाया जो पब्लिक फेसिंग फेसिंग डिपार्टमेंट है जिसको आपने इंटरनेट का एक्सेस दिया हुआ है, ठीक है। तो इन द सेम वे in AWS virtual private cloud, you can create a virtual private cloud. Okay, within that you can further segregate into different subnets. Okay, and you can decide whether you want to give the internet access. You can expose the resources in that those subnets to the world or not. Okay, so जिस सबनेट को हम इंटरनेट गेटवे इज अनदर रिसोर्स दैट प्रोवाइड्स द इंटरनेट एक्सेस टू द रिसोर्सेज विद इन द सबनेट। ओके, तो अगर पब्लिक सबनेट है, पब्लिक सबनेट हम किसे बोलते हैं, जिस सबनेट में हमने इंटरनेट गेटवे अटैच किया हुआ है थ्रू द राउट टेबल। ओके, सो वो हमारा पब्लिक सबनेट कहलाता है, बिकॉज दिस सबनेट विल हैव द डायरेक्ट एक्सेस टू द इंटरनेट। ओके, एंड रिसोर्सेज विद इन दैट सबनेट can be accessed through outside world. Okay, but in the private subnet is not connected to the internet gateway, so hence resources launched within this private subnet will not have direct access to internet. Okay, so all these configurations we will see and we'll do the practical in the complete VPC video session. Okay, पब्लिक प्राइवेट सबनेट्स क्यों बनाए जाते हैं, डिफरेंट सबनेट्स, एक VPC के अंदर डिफरेंट सबनेट्स पब्लिक और प्राइवेट सबनेट बनाने की आवश्यकता क्यों पड़ती है, वो सारी चीजें हम देखेंगे, ठीक है, जब हम VPC का एक डिटेल सेक्शन पढ़ेंगे। ठीक है, एज ऑफ नाउ अभी के लिए आप सिर्फ इतना समझे कि VPC जो है वो एक नेटवर्क क्रिएट करने का, वर्चुअल नेटवर्क क्रिएट करने का एक प्रोविजन है विद इन द AWS क्लाउड। ओके, जिसके अंदर हम अपनी रिसोर्सेस लॉन्च कर सकते हैं और फर्दर हम ये सेटअप कर सकते हैं कि रिसोर्सेस में हमारा कॉन्फ़िगरेशन क्या रहेगा, ट्रैफिक कैसे फ्लोज करेंगी, ठीक है, ऑल दोस थिंग्स कैन बी सेटअप इन द VPC। ओके, सो दैट वाज द small introduction about the VPC. Okay, you can see this is a good picture of VPC, like it's the AWS. Within that we have created a VPC, and within the VPC we have further divided into the different subnets. Okay, और subnets के अंदर हमने मशीनें लॉन्च की हैं, जैसे हमारा वेब टीयर इंस्टेंस EC2 मशीन है, फिर एप्लीकेशन टीयर एंड द डेटाबेस टीयर। ओके, एंड दो डिफरेंट सबनेट बनाए हैं हमने। ओके, so this is the typical this kind of typical VPC architecture you can see even in the Google also. You will find the VPC, the VPC, you can find similar kind of network architecture. Okay, and it depends, this architecture depends upon the network configuration of the organization. Okay, how they want to configure their resources. Okay, and how they want to set up the route table. Okay, so that was a very brief अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द VPC। मतलब इतना हम समझ लें कि VPC होता क्या है और उसका काम क्या होता है बेसिकली। Okay, further in detail we will understand. There is a very huge topic of the VPCs. Okay, and there are multiple terminologies are there: subnets, route table, public, private. Okay, all those things are comes within the VPC itself. Okay, so that is a part of different detail session that we will cover up in later on. Okay, so that was all about the VPC. Let us move next. Okay, so next one is the EC2 instance. Okay, what is EC2 instance? Just we discussed we create the virtual network. Okay, we have divided the network into different subnets, subnet 1 public subnet and the private subnet. Okay, अब हमें क्या करनी है कि हमें अपना डेटाबेस होस्ट करना है, अपना डेटाबेस सर्वर बनाना है या फिर वेब सर्वर बनाना है, तो उसके लिए हमें मशीनें चाहिए, राइट। तो जो हम वर्चुअल मशीन क्रिएट करेंगे दैट इज एक्चुअली कॉल्ड EC2 इंस्टेंस इन AWS. ओके, so EC2 instance is the virtual machine that we can launch within the subnet. Okay, Whether we can launch within the public subnet of the VPC or the private subnet of the VPC, that depends that how we can define the access. Okay, whether we want to give the internet access to the machine or not. Okay, so let that we can define as per the access level. But as of now, uh, just understand the definition, like EC2 instance is a virtual machine in which we can set up our web server. Okay, a web server, database server, or application server. Okay, so it is a similar to your physical machine in your local network. We can create the virtual machine in the within the VPC on the AWS cloud. Okay, so in this diagram you can see, like this is AWS. Within that we have created the VPC. Within that we have a public subnet, and in the public subnet we have created EC2 instance. And EC2 instance we have attached security groups. Okay, security, through the security groups we associate rules like which all traffic, which all ports are allowed to this computer, to this virtual machine. Okay, inbound outbound rules we can define in the within the security group itself. Okay, and within that EC2 machine, storage volumes are connected. Okay, and internet gateway is attached on the VPC level. Okay, and if we internet within this subnet, we have, if we have connected the internet gateway, means that subnet is the public subnet and it will have the internet access. Okay, so any subnet within the VPC which is not connected to the internet gateway, that will be the private subnet. But if it is connected to the internet gateway, IGW, that will be the public subnet. Okay, so that was it about the EC2 instance. So EC2 instance is the it is called Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. EC2 instance is a virtual server that allows user to run their own application on an Amazon's cloud computing platform, Amazon Web Services. Okay, and there's a term AMI that also come if you have created a machine, a virtual machine on AWS, then we can create the AMI, Amazon Virtual Image. Okay, the complete snapshot of that machine itself. Okay, and with that AMI machine image, we can further create different other machines also with the same configuration, same setup. Okay, we can replicate the machines itself. Okay, so that is the function of AMI that we will also see later in detail session of the EC2 instance. Okay, where we will go through. And further EC2 instances you can create with the different OS, like if you want Ubuntu machine or the Windows machine, or the EC2 instances with the different OS. Okay, all those, there are various options are there. Okay, on AWS that you can launch as per your requirement. Okay, that was all about EC2 instance. Okay, and IAM and identity access management, that we will discuss. We will discuss in next video. Okay, so for this we have covered what is VPC. It was a very brief introduction only, right? So that you can understand what is VPC, what we can do in the VPC, what is EC2 instance. Okay, so EC2 instance is the virtual machine that we launch within the VPC. VPC is the virtual network that is similar to your physical network in your organization. Okay, yeah, so that was it as of now. We will continue our next video. And if you like these videos, okay, please do like and subscribe to the channel to be connected to our channel, so that you will be notified whenever we launch any new videos. Okay, and it also motivates us to create such interesting videos more and more for the community. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for now.